You want to take the chord again, or you just want to do the movement?
Let's do the movement.
All right. In this regard, I'm interested in you describing the most interesting physical aspect, feature. Most interesting physical feature of aspect A, of that aspect. What's interesting to you, to your subconscious or whatever?
Okay, most interesting physical feature of aspect A. I'm kind of getting back into this kind of meshy, fleshy kind of thing.
Okay, objectify.
Meshy, fleshy, like wraparound. All this here, like say we got this thing here, and then the wrap. Hang on a second. So we got this, and then this wrap. That's not a very good interpretation, but like an adhesive. You wrap like a skin. Wrapping around something. You have like an object that gets wrapped in something, covered. And it adheres to it. Tightly, but not too tight. But not uncomfortable. Thin, almost oily, like a like if you were to put some oil on your skin. Or like a conditioner or something, and there's like this thin wrap around.
Take the tip of your pen and physically poke around on that, probe around it, and do you get a sense that that was manufactured, or that somehow it assembled itself, or what?
It feels manufactured to me. Designed. There's a design to it. It's like a protective layer. It's designed for it. I keep getting this AOL of the signal like skin. It wraps around a bone, and it's thin, and it has a protective application. But it's like that. Like if we had this object, this film would be
like wound around it? Would it be wound around it like that?
It's like, I'm getting this image of this idea like it's liquid, like it's liquidy, and so it would just kind of cover it, the whole thing. but if you look at it close enough, it looks like it's wrapped around it. But the idea is kind of like liquidy, almost. Not like it's an oil specifically, but it kind of wraps or grips like that.
And your feeling is that was designed, it was manufactured.
It feels to me like it was
synthesized.
That was put on there, something that was put on there.
What the hell?
This one's working. Did you dump these?
No, I didn't, because I was thinking these were empty, because
I thought we emptied them last night.
All right, we're breaking. Put a break. Damn it. I'm sorry.
10:59. Okay. And you want to keep moving on this?
Okay, read your last.
Let's see. Like if you put oil on the skin, like a thin wraparound, it feels made and designed. A protective layer, like a protective application, wraps or grips like that. And then that was it. And again, I'm AOLing skin. This is the visual in my mind is that it wraps around like a skin, or like another AOL, like AOL the signal, like the wraps. Well, not really. That they put around a vehicle, like an advertisement, that are wrapping around.
All right, you were saying that. I think we were investigating before the break was does it look manufactured, or does it look like it naturally occurs that way was the question, and you said, well, it looks manufactured or something like that, to that effect. Is that right?
Yeah, it feels like it was designed. Feels designed for the purpose of covering something. Protective, adhesive, keeping things to fit together, keeping things in place, protected from elements, external elements. It's like a protective coating they have there.
Okay. I guess we'll do one more thing. Do you have any AIs out of that?
Not right now.
Okay. Let's start a fresh one. So I think we have to stop in the middle of something just to do a header. So you said it was designed, and I kept asking, was it manufactured?
If it was designed, wouldn't it be manufactured?
I don't know. But that was more of the sense I was looking for. Was it assembled? Did somebody assemble it, or did it assemble itself? Because in the previous, back here, you're describing, well, it repairs itself. It doesn't require anybody to repair it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It feels like it's placed around.
It's placed. So somebody placed it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's placed around this thing.
Right.
Or those things, or whatever.
In other words, they didn't just creep up and wrap themselves around it.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
No, I didn't get any sense like something came and wrapped itself around it. It's like it's designed to...
Somebody wrapped it.
It's like assembled.
It's assembled.
Yeah.
Somebody assembled it.
Yeah.
That's what I was after.
Yeah.
All right, put down it's assembled or whatever, objectify that.
The parts are designed and assembled together.
Okay. So what I want to do now is do a movement. Move directly in front of the principal designer of this configuration or whatever, fabric.
And describe.
And somewhere along the line, if you have to sketch on a sketch sheet, try to make it as big as possible.
All right. Okay.
You may want to probe the EI column, since it's a See if you get anything bubbles up.
And I get this kind of caring feeling, caring like a doctor, that kind of feeling, a doctor feeling. Someone who wants this thing to work successfully. They care about it, or he does. Compassion. There's emotions involved from the person. Emotionally attached to the outcome and the process. They're like, they put themselves into it. They're like committed to it. Committed. A designer.
Here, do this sketch. Try to, move directly, right in his face. Stare right in his eyes. Kind of a movement. A nice big sketch, okay, of the face.
I get
anything that comes up. Any S7s, any conceptions, whatever. Any AIs.
Like a kind face. Like a big person, not huge or heavy, but built. Kind but not necessarily smiling. Might even have like a mask. Let me get this image in my mind here, like an AOL of like a surgical mask. I even have it on here, covering the nose. That kind of like sterile environment, dust-free, like an operating room, dust mask, like a doctor. Like a head covering and mouth and nose covering.
Do you have a sense of where he might be from? In other words, race?
Kind of like the mannerisms of like an Indian, of somebody from India. Kind of soft spokenness kind of thing. A lot of protective coverings, protective clothing and coverings.
Okay, if I were to teleport you into his immediate vicinity, where you were like standing right there, how would you react to seeing him? What would be your reaction, aesthetic reaction? Would you be afraid of him? Would you want to meet him?
Yeah, I would. I feel like I would ask for his advice.
On what?
Health issues. Like a surgeon. They know, they kind of feel like they know what they're doing, and they kind of value their opinion.
Do you get a sense of time? About what time that is?
I kind of get this sense like this person is in the future. Kind of strange like that. I mean, this is kind of like maybe an AOL of the signal here, or just but this person isn't even born yet.
You mean like he's from the future?
Yeah, like he's. It's kind of vaguely strong, but like not really in this timeline. Like in the future. Like someone who's like someone from like 100 years from now. Just as like an idea. I'm not saying it is 100 years. But not. I kind of get the feel like this person isn't here on Earth now.
Go ahead. Anything else?
No. A surgical mask and hat. They seem kind. They don't, I don't feel like they're mean or anything. Like a real surgeon would be. They want to heal you, or whatever, fix your problem or whatever. Dedicated to your survival, kind of thing. Whatever the Hippocratic oath.
You said some things I'd like to have written. Dedicated to your survival, whatever. See, these are all impressions you're getting, and they may be important to, getting a
like
grip.
The Hippocratic oath, dedicated to survival, and what? I can't remember what the Hippocratic oath is.
Like do no harm.
Yeah, is that what the Hippocratic oath is?
Something like that, yeah.
Whatever that oath is, it's kind of that feel. I get the idea of what it is, which is, do anything to, for it's to survive, kind of a thing. Not like a triage thing. It's like, it's dedicated to that type of survival thing.
Okay, how do you feel now?
Good.
This is all part of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been separating them out.
A couple of words, a couple of sentences to sum it up.
Yeah, summary for what is that? A?
Yes. Aspect A.
Aspect A feels like a skin type of covering apparatus. It is designed to maintain health and integrity, and has the ability to re-establish that integrity under stressful breaks or that kind of thing. There is a person who... What are we looking at? The designer?
Yeah, that was the designer.
Who designed the apparatus / covering. He seems to me like a doctor or surgeon who is emotionally involved and dedicated to its survival and success. The ambience feels like the movie Tron, like moving through these light fields similar to the images in the movie Tron. It's felt kind of, if that ambience kind of felt, if I can remember correctly, rather unemotional. What did I say? It was like mechanical, I feel.
You want to put a timestamp on that?
47.
Okay. Do you want to take a break or you want to do a movement?
I'm ready.
Alright. Where are we at? B?
I think B is the last one.
All
Do
right.
we want to start with this as page 1, or we want to...
No, just continue. And I'll give you the coordinates. Let's move on.
Alright.
8566
8566
1161
61
B.
B. A cross. This feels like angle to me. Sloping. Hard structure. This AOL here of like a multi-layered building. I'll take it again.
Okay. 8566
8566
1161B.
1161B. Okay. Wavy. Feels hard, semi-hard, energetic. Brown, black, moving, silver, metallic, shiny, sparkly, curved, around, thick, rough, coarse. Being an AOL of a brake rotor. You got tape paper?
Yes.
Glassy, smooth, fluidic, vertical, cross, angular, round. AI is there's this kind of excitement, like something being lit up, the signal igniting, starting up, people, voices, people around, planning. There's kind of like two sets of people, polarized. And you get this idea like people here and people here, separated, like they're in the same place though. Aspect B, angular.
Any sounds, tastes, smells there? Temps, textures?
Warm, hot, smooth, grinding, humming sounds, voices.
Can you mimic the grinding? You say grinding, you're talking about grinding sounds or grinding?
Grinding sound, yeah.
Mimic the grinding sound.
Like a grr, grr, that kind of thing. A grr sound, grr, mechanical. Man, I feel like the only way that I can draw these things is just the squares, but I don't want to do that. But there's objects.
How are these objects arranged? Describe their arrangement.
Like they're in rows. Containers. There's the feel like storage, kinda, of some kind. Like a storage facility. Rows of them.
Describe the nature of the grinding sound. What's going on? The activity or whatever. What's causing?
Like something getting broken down like crushing. Like if you had like a bezel, like you're crushing, like a vitamin or something, or a rock, or not really like a processing. And processing and storing. That's
okay.
That's kind of the feel.
Stick your tongue on it, the thing that's being processed and stored, and tell me what it tastes like and smells like.
Kind of sweet.
What does it smell like?
Aromatic. Not a bad smell. I'm not like repulsed by it.
Color?
Fragrant. Like a violet, purple, orange.
Stick your hand in a pile of it and tell me what it feels like.
Mushy. And again, this like AOL of the signal here, like crushing grapes into wine and then containing them.
Alright, what's the ambiance? Describe the ambiance of that particular, if you were there, what would the ambiance? Look around.
It has a work feel, people working. Feels a little primitive, a little kind of primitive, almost, and I'm getting kind of images in my mind, village-like, getting kind of like outside and inside.
Describe the nature of the work.
Processing. I'm getting this AOLs of the signal like food for the winter, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's not like busy work. It's purposeful.
All right, let's do a stage 5 real quick. Let's stage 5 the crushing into wine. Objects associated with that.
Emanations, feet, grapes, buckets, liquids. What else? Wooden bins, storage bins. People, obviously, doing the stomping. Also, like using stones to do the crushing or pulverizing. Attributes are to extract something, to process, convert, the chemical change to it. Attributes, consumption, and also aging over time, change. Subjects. Subjects would be fermentation process, the chemical process, dosage, ingredients. What else would be subjects? Traditional process, handed down. Taste.
Topics?
Yeah. Taste and crushing into wine. The process. Have you ever talked to microbrewery people who make beer?
Yeah, I've talked to some people who do that. Yeah.
I used to work at one. And
they're really
picky,
into it,
man.
Really picky about what ingredients.
Yeah, they're like obsessed with it. The process
and the formulas and stuff like that.
Yeah, formulas. They're really into experimenting, making different flavors. How time affects the flavor. I mean, they're really into it. I mean, they just sit there and talk about it. They are really into it. They enjoy it. It's what's the word for it? It's a specific type of person that is a specific type of person that's drawn
like
to
an artisan.
Like an artisan, that artisans aren't just painters; they're food artisans and that kind of thing, right? They have to they want to create their own flavor of beer or something like that. They want to have their own signature, like a signature brand, signature flavor to them.
I see you AIing on your reaction. Describe your reaction.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's an excitement in the creative process. It's enjoyable. It's stimulating. Coming up with new ideas.
Okay, back here you said there were two. There was a polarization of people.
Yeah.
Can you expound on that? Move to the two people and describe the polarization.
All right. Because they're like it's like the
call this people A and this people B.
A and B. So A is like the artisan crafting the. I'm just going to put in parentheses wine, just as a that kind of person. They're crafting their product, their outcome, the product, and they love it. They love the process. They love the creative process. They talk amongst themselves. Others don't understand.
The others being the people B.
Yeah, they don't. They have a different job. B has a different job, and they don't mix. They don't mix with A.
Is it a social thing or a genetic thing?
It's a like
a caste?
No, it would be the difference of let's say we'll use the microbrew description. You have the brewmaster, and then you have the general manager. They're two different people. This one stays up.
Do they get along?
They tolerate each other. This one will stay up all night brewing. This one says, I have a guy that stays up brewing all night. That kind of thing. He doesn't mess with him. Just let him do it,
Does he partake in the produce? The bee guys?
I think, I'd say, I don't really get that much of an interactive feeling. It's like, it almost feels like, as an analogy, like two separate parts of the building, and A and B they rarely come in contact, unless they need to.
Is A independent of B?
They're interdependent. I don't really see them as separate, only in the, what they're doing, Like, they need each other, but they don't interfere with each other either. Like, the brewmaster says, all I need is is the facility, and leave me alone. Leave me to it. Don't mess with me. And then the general manager says, fine, no problem, perfect. I don't think that way. You know, the general manager doesn't think this way.
He's focused or trained on something else.
Yes. He doesn't have to think that way. He can't really... the sense is that he really can't think that way. He's better at this, and he's no good at this, you know. He's good at this.
Managing?
Yeah. And this guy is good at this, and he couldn't even fathom doing this. And this guy would be like, oh, if only I could, but I just, you know, couldn't. Like that kind of thing, you know. They're two different types of people, you know. Two very different types.
Do you get a sense they're the same race?
I kind of don't. They feel different enough to where, you know, where the general manager would think about those things, where this one here doesn't even care about that kind of stuff.
What's the kind of stuff he doesn't care about?
He doesn't care about. He only cares about making this crap. What do we want to call it? And then they don't even. Abe doesn't even really think about that kind of stuff. You know, doesn't even care. It's just like they'll stay in their little brew house doing their thing, and they don't really they can't even be bothered outside of that. Whereas the general manager is outside of that, and he's got a broader range. But he knows that he couldn't. He's not the type of person who could just do this one thing, you know, and think about that kind of stuff, you know. So in that they're completely different in that in that kind of thing, you know. He's good for this, he's good for that. They just leave it at that, you know. He doesn't have to be good at this, he doesn't have to be good at that. They do their own thing, and that's where it goes. You know, they keep this. You know, it's like that analogy. Like they're in a building, but they're on separate parts of the building, and they only need to interact when absolutely needed. Other than that, they could care less. You know. Well, actually, he would care more. Yeah, he would care more because he needs this. He needs the space. Micro brewmaster needs the space. General manager needs the brewmaster. That's really how I like.
All right, do this S4.5 on that.
Or I'll say A needs the space. B needs A.
Let's do it real quick. I'm curious. You know, you did all this stuff, and over here on the crushing part, I presume, you know, there's a implement of some sort, a machine or an implement. I'm using the word implement because I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. So move to the crushing implement and describe.
All right, the crushing implements. It's like I'm kind of getting this kind of. I think I had this earlier and it's something different. This kind of cylinder moving down, and this kind of feels like it's moving. You know,
like a rotation.
Yeah, this is kind of spinning. You know, like I'm getting an AOL like mashed potatoes. You know, potato masher thing. You know.
And that's what's producing that sound you were mimicking.
Yeah, and then the sound is coming from here, the grinding sound under here. You know, it kind of like presses down. You know, spinning, rotating, you know, crushing, or pulverizing, and then comes up.
And that's the principal ingredient that they use in their concoction or whatever it is that they're doing, or is that something separate?
The byproduct of the crushing.
Whatever the
yeah, this feels
output
like
of it is.
Yeah, this to me feels like what is put in the product or
batch or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. You know, this is then added in.
How does that feel to you? I mean, what do you think about that?
It feels good to me. You know, it's like and I get this feel like there is many variants to it. You can you can like coffee grounds. You know, you can have them coarse, you can have them fine. You know, that kind of thing. You know, and you get a different effect from it. But there's something about it that it's like like that. You can, depending on how you process it, very different variants depending on the processing. Like if you grind it down more, you get something different. It's part of the artisan of it. Changes the outcome. So that's part of the creative endeavor of it is in that as well. You have to know exactly how to process it. It's exact.
Okay, let's do a movement in time. Do a new sheet. Move to a time when this activity is at its peak and describe the ambiance or the setting and the feeling of time. About what time that is.
In production.
When it's at its peak. Move to a time when it's at its peak.
Right. Feels like large scale. Lots of workers. There's lots of customers. People who are waiting. It's a little stressful actually. That'd be an EI. Busy. It's busy. Demand is high. I kind of get a feel that it didn't last long. If we're looking at like the microbrew was only open for a few years.
And about what time was that? You get a feel of
in the past.
You get a feel of how far.
How far in the past? It feels pretty far. If I was talking about brewery, if I was talking about beer, this is an example, it would be, Renaissance Germany, that kind of thing. A different time, era. But it would also go along with this artisan feel. It was a time of an artistic time, an expressive time, Renaissance feel to it, that kind of thing. That kind of excitement was happening. Creative period. Like this window of creative output. Didn't last, but it was in full scale for a period of time.
You get a sense of, move to current time at same location and describe any activity, if any.
When I think of current time, I'm getting this sense of like post-Soviet Union, Russia, like desolate areas that used to be in full scale.
In the sense of like a sense of the Chernobyl community, they evacuated. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there's it's desolate, but rusted, the buildings, are dilapidated, dilapidated facility, this facility is dilapidated now. But I get that kind of Russian or German or something like that. It kind of has that kind of feel to it, cold, seasonally cold, but dilapidated like that. And this was back in a
heyday,
boom time. It's like a boom time, period that ended.
How do you feel about it now?
I feel a little sad about it. It was like it kind of has that feeling like the good old days. Like the good old days kind of feel. That's kind of like, oh, bummer, it's over. And this is even kind of my AI. I wish it was still booming.
If you could jump in a time machine and go there, would you?
Temporarily. I would visit. I wouldn't really want to stay there. But why? I get this feeling like I would want to visit but not stay. It's like knowing the boom ends taints it for me. Because it's like an abrupt end to the boom time. I don't like that. I don't like them times. It's depressing at the end. You feel like the good times are going to roll forever, like the 20s, like the roaring 20s. Sort
of like the oil situation.
Yeah.
It's going to end sometime.
Yeah. But I mean, even now, in the mindset is, doom and gloom is in our mindset. And there wasn't this time, at this time, people weren't like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end, next week or whatever. This time didn't feel that. I don't really get that sense that people felt that way. It wasn't like it was like
they didn't have an ominous feeling about the future.
Yeah. They didn't have that wasn't really part of their mindset, But maybe to their disadvantage.
Because they didn't know or weren't aware.
Well,
or they weren't.
It's a shock when it happens. It's a shock. Maybe they, not prepared. Like Mount Vesuvius. However you spell it. It's like you're going about boom time and then kaplamo. Good, then blammo.
You're talking about a volcano?
Yeah,
Just blew it up.
Yeah, it's like, everything's cool, we got a great thing, and blah, 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 blah.
Do you think that's related to that session you did where you're describing this collision or whatever it was?
Which one was it?
Yesterday. You drew these two things.
Oh, yeah, the two things coming, bashing into each other and breaking and then having a chemical reaction. Yeah, maybe. I'm not right now. I'm thinking of this Mount Vesuvius thing. But
it's stage 5 Mount Vesuvius.
All right.
See if there's anything behind that conception.
Okay, objects. We got volcanoes. We got rocks and ash and dead people and cities and rubble. That's what they had there. Attributes. We got heat. We got molten lava.
What's the attribute when something like that happens, such as a volcano?
You got devastation. You have environmental change, sudden change, catastrophe. Fear, quick subjects, history, volcanism, geology, geography, the land surveying, demolition topics, preparation, predictive outcome, land management, surveying again, oblivious, don't let this happen again, relocate, read the signs, don't get caught with your pants down.
Anything else?
Although it's nice, I'm glad I'm not there. It's like history, hindsight. So, in that regard, no, I wouldn't want to go. I'd visit, drink the beer. Get the hell out of there. No, not really.
You feel okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
How about overall?
Summary?
Yeah. Go ahead and wrap it up on your summary. The overall, what's going on there, and so forth. What's there?
It feels like a facility. That is inside and outside. Feels kind of primitive. There are two separate people. One reminds me of a brewmaster, artisan. The other, a general manager. They need each other, but don't need to interact as much. The brewmaster, just for lack of a better term, needs the space, and the GM needs the brewmaster. They don't mix or mess with each other. There is a process that involves crushing, producing a grinding sound. The device is like a spinning wheel or disc that is lowered onto a substance that is then crushed down to make something with.
Okay. All right. Put a line across there, and put summary todo.
Todo?
Yeah. Total.
The last aspects feel further in the past during a specific period. And that would be, I think, B and A or something like that. A and B. The CD feels more in the future. Actually, the doctor guy felt like he was in the future, though. But there is, like, I do feel this timeline.
Draw a timeline. Get a sheet. We're still in session, right? Mm-hmm. So let's do a sheet, and you do a timeline, and kind of, it doesn't have to be exact, just kind of, say, okay, this is, like that, and these kind of, and this kind of, like that, right?
Could you repeat that?
Just draw a line. There you go.
Okay. So
put current time or future current time.
We'll put current in the middle here.
All right.
And then we got, we have the, just say the artisan time here at distance.
Mm-hmm. And where did the collision occur? Or the
collision probably right around in here. The woman with the training and all that.
Yeah.
That feels like it's here. But it feels like they look at this stuff. This is something that is being observed. Or taught. I mean, she was like the perspective that she had is the perspective they didn't have. She has perspective.
Can you?
These guys are in the moment only.
Can you attach a personality from any movie, any political figure of that woman? If you had to think of one, who would it be?
Think of a woman.
The closest. Doesn't it be? It's a close an approximation. The best fit sort of thing.
Let's see. Let me think. I'm going through like some actresses or TV shows that.
Would it be something like an Oprah or the Oracle in the Matrix or anything like that?
Not even like that.
Mother Teresa.
Was more approachable. I mean, Mother Teresa in that kind of idea of kindness, but this one was more intelligent, intellectual. Very skilled in ways other than just compassion. And so I'm trying to find who that would be like. Like if it was in approachability or training, it would be like Deanna Troi from Next Generation, the empath.
Oh, okay.
In that kind of, that she would take you in and want you to kind of see from her perspective kind of thing.
And she could read you like the back of her hand.
Yeah. And
see right through you.
And be able to guide you in without, beating you up.
Putting
as
up
you're
a wall.
Going in. Making you feel weird or whatever, or closing down. She knows how to open it and move it through. So kind of like that, combined with, who would be like, I'm thinking like Star Trek now, so it'd be like her, a combination of her and LaForge, that kind of technical knowledge with her kind of empathy. That kind of thing, very technically savvy, and, it's like a whole brain person. Both sides are working. They got the technical and they got the, the other thing going too. Very good balance. Very good balance. Which they don't have that here. She's not here. She's here, but they can look at these things. And she knows to learn from them. She knows a lot more than that. But it's one of the things that would be important in her knowledge base, And then the doctor guy, I mean, he kind of feels, it's kind of weird here, because he kind of felt to me like he hadn't been born yet, kind of thing, and but not too far off, somewhere in here, kind of feel. It's kind of strange, That's weird, because there seems like there's some connection there, but he seems more advanced. He seems too advanced to be over here. That's my feeling. Could be just analyzing, but he feels too advanced to be over here. You know what I mean? He feels too advanced to be in the past, you know. So I put him in the future because he doesn't feel like should be in the past, kind of a thing. You know, that kind of thing.
Okay. So under that, where you drew that line, where is that sheet? Here it is. Just a couple sentences. Overall, your impression of the big picture.
All right. There are multiple timelines. One in the past, during a prosperous period that was temporary. It ended. There is a future timeline in which people are looking back at this period, yet not only there. There are processes in motion, healing, developing survival products, kind of like this idea of learning from the past, then creating solutions for the future. You know, like that healing thing, that kind of felt that way. I mean.
Okay, so did you like this target or dislike it? Did you like the location?
Yeah, it was interesting. The past part, I'll just call it during the boom period, felt very exciting. Mature woman was very interesting. Overall, it's a little depressing in the focus. Kind of similar, like the brewmaster trying to create the best brew, but that kind of passion put to solving survival processes. So it's not as fun, you know. It's not as happy and jovial. You know, the brewmaster can be like the mad scientist and drink his brew at the end, you know, and everybody laughs and, you know, they take it seriously, but then you can just as easily not take it seriously. But in here, you have to take it seriously. You know, apply the same kind of, you know, mindset of creating something even better, but it's not as fun.
Sort of like Rome when it fell. Yeah. Everybody's out having toga parties and drinking wine and stuff. And
yeah. And then going, oh, God, we're doomed. But we got tonight. We're doomed. That kind of thing.
I bet that was a fun period in Rome.
Hey, for some people, it sure was. For those who could afford the fun part.
All right, so you done?
Yeah.
Okay. What time we got?
1:02.
All right.
Holy
That was a real party,
moly.
man.
Oh my God. What was the Eiffel Tower?
Now don't react.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
You gotta look at them.
Hate it.
You gotta look at them. Study them.
That's not a good way to go into it. That's not a good start. Hang on, let me
I know what the hell I'm doing. You just gotta trust me.
I gotta trust you. I know. All right. You gonna manage all that?
All right, let me get up here so I can get your picture.
It's empty. It's empty. I'm just kidding.
There's 4 of them, right? That's Big Day. All right.
Is that the moon?
Nope.